Lately, I feel like Shoujo romance anime is finally making its comeback. Kingdom settings, fantasy worlds, historical vibes, basically that fairy tale atmosphere I always wish for in Shoujo anime. It feels like we're finally getting it. We saw the momentum start back in 2019 with the Fruit Basket remake, then the long-awaited return of Kimi ni Todoke Season 3 in 2023. Slowly, more titles followed, and now from late 2025 into 2026, it feels like a whole new wave of shoujo anime is popping up. And honestly, seeing this feels like the perfect time for me to make my comeback too. Back in 2013, I used to binge so many anime, but the ones that really matched my taste were actually pretty rare. That's one of the reasons I ended up taking a long hiatus. I just couldn't find animes that gave me that special feeling I was looking for. And even when I came back years later, it still felt the same. Shoujo romance anime were lacking, and most of the big romance titles were shonen from a male perspective, which honestly didn't click with me. But now, things are finally changing again. So today, while we wait for all of the upcoming shoujo anime, I want to reminisce and share some of my top favorite shoujo romance anime that people don't really talk about much, but I think that truly deserve so much more love. Heartflop Excel, romance meets Nihongo. Before that, if you love visual novel story-rich or otome games, or if you want to learn Japanese with otome games and experience some heart-fluffy romance, I suggest you to subscribe to this channel because you are in the right place. Let's start with Akatsuki no Yona. I've always been drawn to historical settings, not just because I'm obsessed with the era itself, but because the worlds tend to be so beautifully crafted. And honestly, this anime delivers that perfectly. The story is about Yona, the sheltered princess of Koka, loses everything after a shocking betrayal forces her to flee with her bodyguard, Hak. Determined to grow stronger, she begins a journey to reclaim her kingdom, guided by an ancient legend that may hold the key to Koka's future. What hooked me the most wasn't just the adventure or the discovery of the four dragons, it was Yona herself. Her character development is chef's kiss. Watching her grow from a spoiled princess into a strong, determined fighter is so satisfying. And then there's her romance with Hak. The chemistry between them is unreal. Even though Hak decides early on to bury his feelings for her, the way he protects and cares for Yona just screams they're meant to be together. And let's be real, Hak is ridiculously hot. This anime desperately needs a season 2. Like seriously, if Kimi ni Todoke can come back after 13 years and Fruits Basket can get a full remake, then why not Akatsuki no Yona? I'll be waiting no matter how long it takes. Speaking of strong heroines who also bring heartwarming romance, another one that fits perfectly is Soredemo Sekai wa Utsukushi. I remember back then I was desperately searching for a shoujo romance that really fit my vibe. I stumbled across this one, and at first I was honestly hesitant. The age gap and the height difference made me unsure if I would enjoy it. The male lead being younger didn't help either. But in the end, I gave it a chance, and I'm so glad I did, because I ended up binge watching the whole thing. The story takes place in the Sun Kingdom, where sunshine is an everyday thing and rain doesn't exist. But in the faraway Rain Dukedom, it's the opposite. Everyone there has the power to create rain with their singing voices. After conquering the world, King Livius decides to marry Nike, a princess from the Rain Dukedom, and rumors say Livius is a cruel tyrant, so Nike prepares herself for the worst. But when she finally meets him, he turns out to be very different from what she expected. What made this anime unforgettable for me was the end of the very first episode. Nika sings Tender Rain, and that scene just blew me away. Even now, I can still hear it in my head. It's a tender rain, anata no moto wo The magic of that moment pulled me into their world completely. And honestly, the romance turned out to be so good. Nikke becomes this ray of light in Livia's life, softening his cold, tyrannical exterior. The way the relationship balance each other is so beautiful to watch. If you love shoujo romance with a fantasy setting, this one is absolutely worth checking out. Speaking of romance wrapped in fantasy setting, there's another shoujo that's completely captured my heart back then. And this one mixes god, yokai, and one very sassy fox. Yep, I'm talking about Kami-sama Hajimemashita. It is also one of my favorite shoujo from that era. I actually discovered on the Animax channel back then, and I still remember how I literally couldn't wait for each new episode. The story follows Nanami, a high schooler, whose dad Daps left her homeless. One day, she helps a strange man who in return offers her his home, only for her to find out it's actually a rundown shrine. Turns out that man was the shrine's land god, and he left Nanami as his replacement. Suddenly thrown into the role of a deity, she meets Tomoe, a hot-headed fox who refused to serve a human. But after a twist of fate binds them together, Nanami and Tomoe must navigate the challenge of godhood, dangerous yokai, and their growing feelings for each other. What I love most is how Tomoe, who wanted nothing to do with Nanami at first, ends up falling in love with her anyway, and always shows up when she's in danger. Honestly, this was probably the beginning of my obsession with yokai x human romance. Like, come on, two people from completely different worlds trying to be together, how could you not be curious how that will turn out? I still remember screaming when Tomoe finally kissed Nanami out of love in the last episode of season 1. The anime is already complete now, I know, but I will admit I never actually finished the later seasons. I only watched season 1 live when it aired, then went on hiatus and never picked it back up. I do know how it all turns out though, and they end up as such a sweet, destined couple. Honestly, this feels like a reminder for me to finally finish it for real. One of the things I love in Kami-sama Hajimemashita was watching the relationship between Nanami and Tomoe slowly grow. That's why Sugar Apple Fairytale felt like the perfect follow-up. It also gives us that slow burn development between An and Shal. And OMG, this anime is so underrated. I seriously need more people to talk about it. Honestly, when I first saw the scenes before watching, I just knew I would like it. And thank goodness I only started when season 2 was about to end, because if I had to wait for the continuation, I would have gone crazy. The story takes place in the Highland Kingdom, where fairies are enslaved by humans who steal their wings. Anne, a girl chasing her late mother's dream of becoming a silver sugar master, sets out on a dangerous journey. To protect herself, she hires Shal, a sharp-tongued warrior fairy, whose wings she holds and promises to return once they reach the capital. And as the two travel together, their bond slowly deepens, blending dreams, trust, and something more. I love how dedicated Anne is to her craft. Her creations are not just beautiful, but filled with meaning. And Shal, our fairy handsome boy, is the ultimate walking green flag. Handsome, reliable, and only has eyes for Anne. The way he says things like, "Do whatever you want as long as I'm beside you." And let's not forget, this man is full of jealousy in the most adorable way. Their kisses aren't overly explicit, but you feel the depth of his love. He's protective, considerate, and just so perfect for her. Season 3, please, I need more of them, like right now. If you love that mix of romance, fantasy, and a strong female lead chasing her own dreams, then you'll probably enjoy going into my next pick. It's not an anime, but a donghua, basically Chinese anime, called Demonic King Who Chased His Wife. And wow, I'm so glad I waited before starting this, because by the time I did, season 3 was already out and I binged it like crazy. The story and the romance are just that good. It follows Sulo, a modern-day assassin who gets reincarnated into a fantasy world filled with martial arts and magic. There she meets Nankong Liuyun, the powerful demonic king, and together they face countless challenges in a realm of intrigue, danger, and mystery. What I love most is that the romance doesn't come easy. Nangong has to really work to win Sulo's heart, and once he does, his love for her is so intense and protective. But don't get it twisted, because Sulo is no damsel in distress. She's strong, capable, and often protects him too. Their relationship feels balanced. They're always there for each other. And I absolutely adore that dynamic. Oh, and I have to mention, the opening and ending songs, absolute bangers. I never skip them, which is rare for me. If you're into historical style Chinese tracks, you'll definitely vibe with them. The story isn't finished yet, and I don't know if we'll get a season 4, but I need it. There are still unresolved conflicts, and I'm dying to see how it all wraps up. After all that intensity and heavy romance, let's take a breather with something lighthearted. If you want pure comedy with just a sprinkle of romance, Gekkan Shoujo no Saki-kun is the perfect pick. I still watch school settings, by the way, as long as the story is good, keeps me curious, or has a fun dynamic. I'm in. And speaking of dynamics, this anime nails it. Honestly, I didn't expect much at first, but it made me laugh so much. It follows Chio Sakura, a cheerful high school girl who falls head over heels for the oblivious Umetaro Nozaki. When she confesses, instead of a romantic reply, Nozaki gives her an autograph. Turns out he's actually a famous shoujo manga artist publishing under the pen name Sakiko Yumeno. Through a series of hilarious misunderstandings, Chio ends up becoming one of his manga assistants. Along the way, she meets quirky classmates like the shamelessly adorable Mikoshiba and the school sprint Kashima. This anime isn't really about heavy romance or physical touch. What makes it memorable is the peak comedy. Seriously, if you're having a bad day, this is the perfect anime to cheer you up. Nosaki-kun might not give you much romance payoff, but if you want something that really dives into the complicated feelings between two people, then Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun is the next stop. It's about Shizuku who only cares about her grades and keeps her distance from classmates until she meets Haru, a violent troublemaker who turns out to be surprisingly pure and childlike. Out of nowhere, he declares her his friend and even confesses his feelings. As they spend more time together, their odd friendship slowly turns into something deeper, forcing Shizuku to confront emotions she's never felt before. The reason I love this anime is the ML plus FL combo, a nerd x bad boy, or should I say pure boy, wrapped in a violent troublemaker energy. His way of thinking is literally like a kid still learning about humans and love. Plus, the chicken that always follows him. Iconic. He loves that chicken so much. This anime has everything: friendship, cluelessness about love, heartbreak, and growth. It's honestly such a nostalgic gem. The last one is actually a soon-to-be favorite of mine. Why? Because I'm still currently watching it. But honestly, I already have a gut feeling I'll end up loving it. The first 2 episodes had me so immersed, and it gave me that magical feeling I always get when I know an anime will become my favorite. It's the same vibe I felt when I first discovered Sorede mo Sekai wa Utsukushi. The anime is called Sutaboro Reijo wa Ane no moto konnyakusha ni dekiai sareru, or Betrothed to My Sister's Ex. Though it's not even her sister's ex, so I don't know why they went with that title. It's about the Shaderan family who fell on hard times. The greedy parents pinned all their hopes on their beautiful daughter Anastasia while treating their second daughter Mari like nothing more than a servant. Years of this made Mari believe she doesn't deserve love at all. But then on her birthday, while Anastasia is being showcased, Mari meets Count Kiros, who instantly drawn to her intelligence and warmth. He sends a proposal letter, but believing it was for Anastasia, the family pushed her instead. Tragically, Anastasia dies on the way to marry him, and Mari is forced to take her place, only to realize Kiros truly meant her all along. Lacking confidence, Mari slowly learns her worth through Kiros' gentle love and patience. I love how this feels like a Cinderella-inspired story, but with way more depth than I expected. And oh my gosh, Kiros before he met Mari, he was this prince who didn't even believe in love. But seeing how he falls for her is just so cute. Plus, Yas, 10 skin ML with long hair, hot, cute, totally my type. I'm also so glad they're giving us his path and backstory because it makes everything hit even harder. I seriously can't wait to see how he will earn Mari's trust and make her feel truly loved. So yeah, those are my favorite shoujo romance anime that really made me fall in love with the genre. And honestly, with all of these amazing upcoming titles airing soon like Mechanical Mari, Past the Monster Meet My Lady, and A Star Brighter Than the Sun, it feels like the perfect time for me to make my comeback too. I'll probably even give Snow White with the red hair another chance while waiting for the new ones to air. But now I'm curious, what about you? Do you have a favorite shoujo romance anime or maybe a hidden gem I should check out? Let me know down below in the comments. And by the way, did you know that some shoujo romance anime actually had game adaptations back then? I made a whole video about it and you might want to check that out after this one. I think you will love it. Alright, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!